Marcus Lamb has been dead since 2021. His parents died more than a decade ago. And yet, on paperwork filed with the state of Texas in 2024, all three of them are listed as sitting on the governing board of a Daystar affiliate. This isn't a clerical typo buried in some obscure filing. This is the corporate backbone of a multi-million-dollar Christian broadcasting empire. And it is telling the state of Texas that dead men and women are still running the show. Before we get into the specifics, I want you to understand why this even matters. Ministries love to talk about accountability to God. What we're talking about today is accountability to the law and to the people who give to these organizations. Corporate filings, articles of incorporation, annual reports, the names on registered agent lines. These documents reveal the actual power structure behind a ministry. Who can fire a corrupt pastor? Who signs off on executive pay? Who is legally responsible when something goes wrong? Filings get things wrong sometimes. Names get misspelled. Addresses go stale. That happens. But when a filing keeps listing people who have been dead for years, not once but repeatedly, that's not a typo. That's either gross incompetence or something far more troubling. Daystar founder Marcus Lamb died in 2021. Almost 2.5 years later, Daystar affiliate WPX's Inc., the corporate entity behind Daystar's Illinois television station, filed a 2024 public information report with the Texas Secretary of State. On that report, Marcus Lamb is listed as the registered agent. That same filing lists Marcus's mother, Corinne Lamb, and his father, Jimmy Lamb, as board members. Corinne passed away in February of 2012. Jimmy died back in 2010. Let that sink in. A governing board, on paper, made up of a man who'd been gone for years, and his parents, gone even longer. WPX's did not respond to a request for comment on this from the Roy's report. And this isn't a small side project. WPX's Inc. doesn't even file the Form 990 that most nonprofits are required to submit. It's the entity that provided six-figure loans to the families of Joni Lamb's two daughters, Rachel Brown and Rebecca Weiss, $550,000 to one, $780,000 to the other. Under Texas law, filing paperwork you know to be materially false is a criminal offense. According to the Texas Secretary of State, doing so intentionally is a Class A misdemeanor, and if there's intent to defraud, it escalates to a state jail felony. The man who signed and submitted WPX's 2024 report is David Schuler, a CPA who provides accounting services for Daystar. Texas requires corporations to maintain a minimum of 3 board members. When board members die, the remaining board is supposed to meet, nominate replacements, and vote them in, so the corporation stays compliant. That didn't appear to happen here. In 2025, Joni Lamb did file paperwork replacing her late husband as registered agent with Daystar's CFO, Arnold Torres. But that filing didn't name any new board members. So as of now, it's simply unknown whether WPX's Inc. is even operating with a legally sufficient board. And here's the part that should concern all of us. Not just those watching the Lamb family saga. Daystar isn't alone. In Florida, the National Center for Faith-Based Initiative, led by the late pastor Harold Ray, filed paperwork just a week before Ray's death, listing only 2 board members. After he died, an attorney filed amended paperwork removing Ray and adding new board members, including his widow. But 5 weeks later, a new annual report surfaced, listing Ray as a board member again, with what appears to be his digital signature attached. He was already dead. Who signed his name? Who had legal standing to remove the other board member in the first place? Florida's own Secretary of State says these questions aren't even theirs to investigate. Filing fraud disputes get punted straight to the courts. That nonprofit, by the way, already lost its tax-exempt status back in 2015 for failing to file its 990s 3 years running. 2 ministries, 2 states, 2 boards populated, on paper, by the dead. When the legal architecture behind a ministry stops reflecting reality, the people writing the checks, the donors, the members, the faithful, have no idea who is actually accountable for what happens to their money, or to the organization claiming to represent Christ. Scripture doesn't call leaders to hide behind confusion. It calls them to walk in the light. Corporate filings aren't a spiritual matter on their surface, but transparency is. And right now, transparency is exactly what's missing. We'll keep watching this story, and we'll keep bringing you the paper trail as it develops. This is Anointed TV.